Well, hello everyone and welcome into Speaking of Diamonds. My name is Rich and today we are entering week 2 of the Mermaids and Magic event. And this is going to be the official WIP and chat that is going to contain the keyword that you're going to need to comment, put in a comment below this video in order to be eligible for prizes this week. Congratulations to last week's prize winners. If you didn't see the prize winners, look at the Mermaids and Magic Facebook group. It is pinned in the features tab. But congratulations to all the winners. We have some really great prizes, and it's great to see the folks that won them and that they're quite honestly all over the world. It's pretty exciting. So today, for Mermaids and Magic, last week I was working on my J-wall or my magic canvas, and quite honestly I needed to put it away because it is super confetti heavy and I needed a break. So I started 2 others, one of which is not for Mermaids and Magic, but it's for the Asian event, all year Asian event one that I'm working on. And then this one is my mermaid or my merman canvas from Crystal Canvas Art Designs. And this doesn't have a title to it, but it's a mermaid sitting on some rocks there. I would move it and show you the whole thing, but it is taped down to my table. By the way, no stick painter's tape is fantastic for holding your canvases down to tables if you need to have it not move. But this is like non-stick, or not non-stick, but non-residue, no residue, and it's sticky. It holds everything, but it doesn't leave anything on your light pad or the desk or what have you. The last time I tried some tape, it unfortunately left some residue all over my light pad, and that was yucky. So I am enjoying using this tape. So welcome on in. Happy start of a new week. I hope everyone is doing well. And I hope all the mothers, mothers to be, mothers that should, mothers that are, across the country or across the world from kids or what have you. I hope you all had a nice Mother's Day. For those of you who potentially Mother's Day isn't the best day of the year for you, I want to say I hope you had a nice weekend and a nice Sunday. Yesterday on my live, we did a rousing round of diamond painting trivia, and we had 30 questions of anything related to diamond painting, and we went through those and we had a lot of fun. And I did that to help celebrate moms, celebrate the moms, but also give the non-moms or moms that are not having a great day a little bit of a distraction and a little bit of fun. And I think we accomplished that. So I forgot to finish what I tell you what I'm working with here. So I'm working on my merman. I have my pen is from Enabler's Outpost. This was the April or May. It was the last subscription pen that I received from them, and I love it. It's hefty. It's nice, nice and long. I like larger pens, and you can see it's sort of this teal aqua color with some glitter and some white in there. I am taking a break from my Mermaid pen. Let me see if I can get this lit up a little bit better here for you. There we go. My Mermaid pen, Mermaid scale pen. I love this one. I just wanted to take a little bit of a break from it. I'm using my Mermaids and Magic 2025 Ocean Breeze Scented Putty from Tracy's DP World. And of course, I'm using the Mermaids and Magic 2025 Crafts with Crash Sleeves release papers. I am absolutely in love with these 4x4 squares. It's like the perfect size for me to get done after work every day. And I have another one. I like seahorses, and this is another seahorse cover minder that I have. I don't really, you know, move the plastic cover around, so I just use them to hold down my release papers that aren't in use. And then I have kitted everything up into these large tray bricks. If you've never seen these before, if you've never used these before, the concept is this is your drill storage and your drill tray all in one. So you can see that my drills aren't going anywhere. And you got to open it up. It is a little bit of a, I mean, it's not difficult, but you got to get in there to open it up a little bit. And then there's a grid in the bottom, and you shake your drills out, and it does a pretty nice job of lining up the drills. And there you go. The only difficulty I have with these is the clear bottom, that sometimes, like when I put it on the painting, it's hard to see even in person. I know there's things that I could do. I know that they've come out with ones that are colored, but this is the set that I have. And if I really wanted to, I could put some tape at the bottom or some type of contact paper or something. Still, I have used them a couple times. So I'll probably do that at some point, because they sort of passed the muster of will I actually use these? But yeah, so that's what I'm working with. So how is everyone? Hope everyone is doing well. Today is a beautiful day here in Chicagoland. It is 82 degrees outside, and we are set to get some summer temperatures here. The last forecast I heard was it's going to be 92 on Thursday, which, I mean, come on, it's only May. Like we're going to be boiling already in the month of May. You know, I'll take it. I'll use it as the official test the air conditioning day. I usually, you know, will turn the air conditioner on at some point in the spring just to make sure that it's cooling and everything is going okay. The compressor kicks on, whatnot. All of that really fun, unglamorous homeowner type crap that you need to worry about. But I'm very much a fan of fresh air, and I like having the windows and the doors open like I have today, and I had most of the weekend, even though it was cooler. Having a attic fan running to sort of bring in some of that outside air. But once it gets over maybe 80 in the house, it's a little stuffy. It's a little stuffy, it's a little hot, especially since in the afternoon, the sun beats down on the house. In the morning, I think the sun is not as intense, but then when it's overhead, at least the back of the house is covered by a tree. And then in the afternoon, it just hits the other side of the house full on, and it gets really warm in here. So, you know, if it was just me and I had to maybe suffer through 85 degrees in the house with a fan, I would probably do that. But I don't want it to be too warm in here for Sammy, especially since he is wearing clothes now. Matter of fact, just today I did laundry, and so Sammy, because of the steroids that he's on, that he's been on them for quite some time, his fur is thinning out quite substantially. So I've had him in these little fleece shirts for the cooler weather to keep him warm and stuff like that. Well, then I was thinking, I'm like, wait a minute, it's going to get warm and it's going to be super sunny, and I don't want him to get sunburned. So I got him the neatest little dog shirts, if you will, in two different patterns and then two different colors, so that we have plenty to rotate through. And I'm super excited to see him in them. I never thought that I would be doing my dog's laundry, but hey, it is what it is. And if anything, it's just cute to look at. These little shirts that come out of the washer and stuff like that. So yeah, so that's what I'm looking at this week. So yeah, how is Mermaids and Magic going for everybody? I've seen some awesome posts, some progress posts, not required, but it's always great to share your progress as you're working through a piece that is for an event. It helps give others some type of, a little bit of motivation. It gives folks a chance to see some paintings from maybe companies that they have not purchased from before. And, couple that with the fact that a lot of these small companies sponsor the event, and there's usually discount codes going on, and you may see a shop that you've never purchased before, and you could utilize that coupon code to get a bit of a little discount when you go and purchase your maybe first painting from them. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, I've been seeing a lot of the progress posts, and I've been liking and commenting on some of them. Like, it's nice that I've seen some paintings that I have, and I'm like, ooh, I can't wait to see your progress on that, because I want to see what it's going to look like when I finally get to mine, and whatnot. So yeah, so keep plugging away in the group there. The moderators are there watching, answering any questions that you guys may have. I try and pop in and answer questions and stuff like that as well. So yeah, keep on keeping on, right? So I hope you're making some progress. I do know that, or I believe that, I know Melanie has been doing Melanie Diamonds and Dogs. She's been doing some sponsor highlights and showing off some of the goods that some of our sponsors have for sale, whether it's event related or not. Usually if it's not event related, it's going to be able to purchase with a coupon code. And I know that she's not done yet, because there's some additional vendors out there that still working on supplying their final product and stuff like that. So stay tuned for that. Every time I do an event, and I like doing events, so I'm usually doing an event at some point, but I tell myself I do not need anything for the event. Don't buy the trays, the pens, the papers, the putties, the whatever. You have enough. But then, darn it, they come out and they're so awesome, and yeah, then I need to have them. So I don't know, it's a sickness, and I don't think I'm the only one with that sickness. So it's always nice to be able to have things to remember the events that you worked on. And one of the things that I'm planning on doing, because I was going through my release papers this weekend and organizing them, and I have a number of packs of papers from previous events, and I'm like, it's cool, it's nice to have them, but they're in this box, I don't see them, I don't know if that I would ever use them again. I'm sure I would, if I needed to use them, I could, but I thought to myself, I'm like, you know what? Someone had gotten me these little photo albums, and I have a couple in here, but this isn't organized the way I exactly want it. But what some people do is they put their cover paper or release papers in here as storage for their packs and stuff like that. But what I'm going to do is for, here's the goofy Berta, signed by Berta. What I'm going to do is for anything that is, any papers that I get from shops other than Crashly, because Crashly is my, probably I'm going to say my preferred shop for papers. But anything I get not from Crashly, I'm going to put in one of these, and I'm just going to put in one sheet, just so that I could flip through it and sort of just like a picture album, go, oh, I remember when I did this picture, or oh, I remember when I did this event, or what have you, or oh, this was a funny paper. And then anything I get from Crashly, she has her own version of the photo album. So I'm going to put one of every paper in here. And then I know that I have the memory and the sort of tracking, if you will, of any events that I've participated in. And then if at some point I need to destash any of the papers, or I work my way through them and they get, they get worn out or something, I still have one for memory's sake. So yeah, that's sort of just a nice little memento, if you will. Because let's face it, I mean, I don't know about you guys, I don't have room in my house to hang up all of the paintings that I do, nor would I necessarily want to hang up all the paintings that I do. Sometimes they just don't, they don't go with the house. I like them, but they don't go with anything, or they're a weird picture or whatever. So I file them in a flat filing system that I have. So I don't get to go through my paintings a lot. I don't get to see the paintings a lot. So it'd be nice just to be able to flip through some release papers in an album just to see what I've done in the past. So yeah, let's see. So as you know, at some point during this video, I will be giving you a keyword that you're going to comment on below the video. When I give you the keyword, please do not just enter the keyword, enter in some type of sentence, use it in a sentence, just so that sometimes bots or scrubbers and YouTube and stuff like that, they will get an understand. They'll figure out what's going on and they'll be like, "Oh, you can't give stuff away, or you can't do that. You can't run contests and blah blah blah." So you want to use it in a sentence, and you will get that at some point throughout this video. I will tell you that this week I also have some mermaid lore for you. It's a really interesting story that I found and that I thought I want to share with you guys, because even if you're not into mermaids, if you're here for the magic part of the event, it's cool. It's a cool story, and we'll get that to a second, but just stay tuned and we'll get to the word and we'll get to the story and stuff like that. What I will say is, as I was doing research for this week's lore, if you will, and each week I'm rotating or alternating. So last week we heard about the Cottingley fairies and how the Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, the guy who invented Sherlock Holmes. Oops, that was fun. My tip came right out of the pen. I need to secure that here, so let me do that while I talk. Who created Sherlock Holmes, one of the great detective minds in literature, got taken in by these girls and a camera back in the, what was it, early 1900s maybe, 1911 maybe. So that was an interesting story. And so then this week is mermaid lore, and then next week we'll be back to magic. So what I'm doing right now, in case you've never seen this, is when you get these custom made pens, if they're not a screw-in tip, like this one, this is a pen from Amazon and it came with these screw-on tips, which is great. But when you're getting these custom pens, the tips don't always fit exactly into the pen, and there's a reason for that. So number one, the turner is turning pens for, you know, how many of dozens of manufacturers is there of tips. You got the plastic tips, the brass tips, the metal tips, the forever tips, the you know, it just runs the gamut of the different type of tips that are out there. And in order to make sure that they all fit, you know, they sort of go with a larger opening in which for them to go into. But also, you never really want to force a tip into a pen, because these pens, while they feel super sturdy, they're plastic. It has not happened to me, maybe because I'm on a carpeted surface, but I know people have had their pens roll off their desks and shatter into pieces. So you don't, I actually had one, I forget where I put it. It's in my repair pile, but it's wood towards the end. It's a hybrid. And I was putting the tip in and it splintered. And so now I have to get that pen fixed or what have you. But these pens are not indestructible, so you don't want to have a tip that fits so tightly that you have to force it in and then break the pen. So what I did was I used some washi tape wrapped around the post of the tip, and that provides enough bulk to keep the pen in there, but it's also soft enough to contract into the space of between the tip and the opening in the pen. So another tip is to use hot glue. I say hot glue because, and I know some people are like, well, use super glue. You can use super glue if you don't want to take that tip out of the pen on the regular, but I don't know about you. I'm constantly reusing my tips in different pens, right? Plus I have some pens that, like for my cross stitch conversion, here's that pen. I use a larger multi-placer. So here's my typical six placer. And now this is a 10 placer, because on my cross stitch conversion, the grid is 10 drills and there's a lot of color blocking. So I can pick up 10 and just go through and do my color blocking. I want to take this out and maybe use in another pen. If you super glue it in, it's sort of stuck. Hot glue is great because it sets, but then all you need to do is twist your tip and it breaks the glue and you're able to remove the tip. So just know that. I know sometimes it really frustrates people when they get their first custom pen and they're like, the tip doesn't fit. What the heck? This sucks. You know, they made the pen wrong. Nope. That's exactly how it's supposed to be. You just need to, you know, make sure that if your tip is not fitting, that to get it to fit in the best way possible and not break the pen. So, so what else? Oh, okay. So I was doing some research. I was doing research to figure out what to talk about this week as far as lore goes. And, you know, one of the things when I first was asked to get involved with mermaids and magic, I thought to myself, all right, well, what do I know about mermaids? And my mind immediately went to Homer's The Odyssey. And I don't know if you've ever read that book or had to listen to the book or what have you. I had to read it in high school, I believe. I'll put my tray back in here. I need another hand. So I read the book back in high school, and I distinctly remember the part of the book that was talking about how there were sirens, sort of the way it's in my mind. I don't know if this is exactly what it was, but this is the way it was in my mind, that sirens were sitting like on like a rock in the ocean or a small island or something, and they were singing to the sailors to attract them, and they sort of want the sailors to wreck on the rocks, so that they can, the ship is going down and the sailors have to come into the water, and then they get the sailors and do whatever. So I'm like, that's a mermaid. Yeah, that's a mermaid. That's a mermaid. Knowing damn well that they're referred to as sirens. And then I thought to myself, well, what the heck is the difference between a mermaid and a siren? So typically, mermaids are, the word that the definition used was, they're more benevolent than sirens. So they're a little bit nicer, right? And they're more accommodating, if you will. Think, Ariel from The Little Mermaid. And they're there to like help sailors and stuff like that. And, just like Ariel, when the prince fell in the water, she went and got him and whatnot. Sirens are a little bit different. They're a little bit more evil. And I didn't realize they are half bird. I did not realize that. So these half bird, half merfish type things, I guess, were calling to the sailors, and supposedly they have these beautiful voices that attract the sailors. But I'm going to tell you right now, if I heard a nice noise, but then I pulled up and it was a fish bird thing trying to get me out of my boat, I'm thinking I'm hitting the reverse. The reverse on the boat to get the hell out of there. But that was sort of interesting, and thought I would share. You may have known the difference. I didn't, but if you didn't, there you go. Certainly don't take that to jeopardy. Double check my facts. Don't go around, I know what a siren is for sure now, but I know it said that they were half bird. I know that for sure, because that was just really mind-blowing to me. But so yeah, that's the difference between a mermaid and a siren, and I think that is a important distinction, since the sirens are definitely not as nice as the mermaids. So what else? Okay, so I have a bit of housekeeping here before we get into our lore, our story about mermaids. What I'm going to need you to do is, when you make your comments with the word that I'm going to give you in just a few minutes, when you put your comments down there in below the YouTube video, what I need to ask you please to do is, if you have Facebook, or even if you don't have Facebook, if you're an Instagram user, because I know some folks are participating, they don't have Facebook, but they use Instagram, whatnot. Whatever other social you use, Instagram or Facebook, could you please include your screen name, the name that's on your profile, in your comment, please, and let us know, this is my Instagram handle, or this is my Facebook handle, or whatnot. It was an oversight that we asked for your YouTube handle, which is fantastic. That's what everyone's going to see, because the videos are being posted in YouTube and stuff like that. But unfortunately, when it comes to just figuring out who people are, YouTube doesn't have a lot of information about people, right? We can't really see names and stuff like that. So we typically have to cross-reference to other socials. And if your name is different, and I guess what we've come to find is lots of people's names are different on various different social platforms, we can't find you. And it becomes sort of like a bit of a treasure hunt, which is fun and great and in the spirit of mermaids and magic, but nobody has time for that. So I'll remind you again once you hear the word, but please prepare to provide the name to your other social. Just in the event that you win something, we have that information. We will track it on our end. And we can figure out who you are a lot quicker and contact you to start either send you your prize if it's a gift card or arrange for any type of shipping or whatnot. So please do that. Let's see, what else? Let's see, how was my week? My week was okay. My weekend, it was a nice weekend weather-wise. Had some nice weather and was able to get a lot done around, not only around the house, but in the diamond painting sector as well. I did spend a little bit more time than normal setting up our trivia night that we had yesterday. That took a little bit more time since it was new. So I did spend a little bit more time on the computer that I would typically like to on the weekends, but so be it. It has to happen sometimes, I guess, right? So yeah, and I'm trying to decide, I inherited the house that I grew up in, and it's a money pit. And it's not really my style, but it is what I know, and it's so therefore it is comfortable. But I'm like, ugh, I sort of want to move, find my own place, something in my not my own place, because this is my own place, but my taste, my location, whatnot, and not have to do all these, as my neighbor would call it, the unglamorous repairs. Yeah, paint and whatnot could end up to be glamorous, but I'm talking, I gotta get the blacktop sealed, I gotta get the fence replaced in certain areas. There's slats in the fence that need to be replaced. New garage door that needs to be replaced. The garage, my dad, when he was alive, he was a bit of a pack rat. So the garage is full of stuff. So need to get rid of that and whatnot. So all of the unglamorous repairs and maintenance, I'm trying to decide which one to tackle first. And quite honestly, it gets to be a little overwhelming, and then I just stop trying to make a decision, which is not great, but something I need to do, and then ultimately decide, do I want to stay here or not? It's not a bad place to be, but single guy, I don't need a 3-bedroom ranch on a quarter-ish acre of yard. Sammy certainly loves the quarter-ish acre, so definitely going to stick around here to let him enjoy it. But what happens after that, and I don't have anybody who's going to enjoy that quarter acre, and especially that. Let's talk about unglamorous repairs there and maintenance. Tree trimming, chopping down trees, the dandelions, the blah, 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 blah. I'm just not, what's the word? I'm not going to say I'm lazy, but that is not where I want to spend my time. It's plain and simple. And I don't think that's wrong. I think, different strokes for different folks. My dad, he loved taking care of the house, and he loved doing the lawn. I go out to cut the lawn and I have a massive allergy attack and I can't breathe for 2 days. So it's like, that's just not what I want to do. But anyway, so a lot of time just sitting here thinking, okay, do I do the driveway first or do the fence first, or do I do the garage door first and then get the empty out the garage, or do I empty out first and blah blah blah, and it's just one thing after another. But yeah, so let's see what else. I know that there have been, if you are a fan of DAC, I know that there's a number of really hot releases in the past 2 weekends or so. So I hope that if you are a fan, you wanted to get something, that you were able to purchase whatever you were looking for. News came out today that tariffs are being delayed for another 90 days. That's good news. I know that just tracking a lot of the smaller companies, a lot of them have implemented their backup plans, if you will, to minimize the effect of tariffs on the cost of diamond paintings. Some things like drop shipping instead of having everything shipped to them directly. Things like shipping from overseas via boat versus plane in order to reduce the cost, and then whatever tariffs would be applied or fees that would be applied would be offset by the decrease in the cost of shipping. It's been a very interesting and challenging time for these shop owners to figure this out, and it's never helpful that in the style of government, and this is not a political statement, this is the government. I experience this daily working for a financial institution, that they implement rules and regulations without having anything written about them. And that doesn't come out, the rules and reg is not written and finally published until like 6, 8, 12 months later. And you get to find out what you've been doing wrong for 12 months and go back and have to fix everything. So there hasn't been a lot of concrete, consistent guidance on the tariff situation that I've seen. So hopefully this delay, it'd be nice if it would just go away, but if this delay, if anything, gives everybody, including the government, more time to get things written down, get things outlined as to how things are going to work, what's exactly going to be impacted, and then just go from there. So as you can see here, I'm working on, this is the head of the mermaid. This is his shoulder, and he has a anchor tattoo on his arm. So go mer dude. Still trying to think of a name for him. I know I saw some recommendations. The one that I was going with, like I was most in favor of, and simply because I read the books and I have like a reference for it, but was Therion, I believe, from the Crescent City books from Stephanie J. Moss. He was part mermaid. He was a man/mermaid, and so I had a little bit of a reference there, and I thought, we could call him that, but nothing is really stuck so far. So still trying to figure that out, but enjoying working on this canvas. Having, the canvas is great. The crystals are good. What I have found with crystals in general, not just anything from a specific place, but sometimes the crystals are just a little bit, you have more trash than you might have in normal drills. And the reason for that is that since these are crystals and they're typically see-through, they have to put a metallic, let's see if I can get this, a metallic back on it. Do you see how it just shined there? But the back of the drill is metallic. Well, if that gets scratched, or sometimes, like if you put a drill down and then you go to move it across the glue, the metallic background will stick to where you originally put it, and then you're moving a drill that now has become a little bit see-through, and you can see the symbol through it. So yeah, sometimes those scratched drills and stuff like that cause a little bit of additional trash, but I have not had any issues with running short on anything. However, I'm also not even halfway through this canvas yet. So, But yeah, I'm definitely enjoying this. I want to try from this company. I don't think I have done a square crystal canvas, and I may want to try a a square all crystal canvas. And this company, since they do that, might as well take advantage of it. But yeah, so that's what I've been working on. Like I said, we're gonna have a warm week this week. Oh, I did make, if anyone follows any of the recipes online and stuff like that, if you've been seeing this viral, like, chopped Italian salad sandwich, something like that, it's where you chop up salami, you chop up ham, pepperoni, cheese, onion, lettuce. Let's see, I also put in some olives. I was going to put in some artichoke hearts, but I was out of them, and I didn't realize that until I was already making it. But you put all that together, you put in some Italian seasoning, some olive oil, some red wine vinegar and or Italian dressing. You mix it all up, and then you let it sit for a little bit, and then you just scoop it into like these nice hoagie type rolls, nice crusty bread. Wow, is it delicious? Because I like an Italian sub, but I like my Italian sub. I like them, what's the word? I guess tangy. So like I typically get peppers on them, the like hot peppers that aren't super hot, but they give like a pickled flavor, I guess. And this definitely gives that pickled flavor to the sandwich. I did add, let's say I put in some garlic powder. I put in the Italian herbs, which it called for, and then I put in some red pepper flakes, so it has a nice little hint of heat as well. But it's quite delicious, and something I may have to add to my rotation of things that I cook or assemble during the summer months when I don't want to have the oven or stove going because it's too warm. But yeah, take a look, do a Google search for the chopped salad Italian sub or something like that, and all the recipes that are listed out there are basically the same thing. So read through them, find something you like, or just adjust it for your preferences. So yeah. So I'm working along here on this painting. I've gotten most of his shoulder done here. And this is going to be whatever the background is, the sky, maybe a bird here, I think, perhaps. So I'm working along with that. So I think it is time. Let me just check my notes here. It's going to be time for our mermaid lore. And what I will say is this is a story that, in my opinion, is a little bit unconventional of a mermaid-esque story, because when I picture mermaids, I picture Ariel, quite honestly, from The Little Mermaid. And she's typically where it's warm, and where she's under the water, but above, there's the islands, or there's the warm weather because she's out there with just her shells on and stuff like that. And this mermaid tale takes place in and around the Arctic Circle, and it is also a tale that the story itself talks about the Inuit people, which are indigenous folks in Canada and Alaska, But I also read somewhere that this is a very well-known story in Norway. So perhaps Scandinavian folks will recognize this as well. So I'm going to, as I continue to work on my canvas here, I'm going to turn you over to listen to that story. It's not a long story. It's only about 8 minutes long. But it's different, and I thought it's just one of those really cool stories. So before we get there, I will give you the word of the week. But please do stick around for that story, because like I said, it's worth it, and it's only 8 minutes. But the word this week that you're going to use to put in the comments below this video is going to be ocean. Use ocean in a sentence down below in one of the comments, and you can tell me things such as why you like the ocean, why you don't like the ocean, do you live by the ocean, is the ocean calming to you? Like, I would probably, since I like to go on cruises, I would probably say something like, there is no better feeling than being in the middle of the ocean on a gigantic ship with all the food you can eat. Something like that. Let me know your thoughts about the ocean. And don't forget that in your comment, also, please leave your handle from Facebook, or if you're an Instagram user, so that we can sort of cross-reference that with your YouTube name, and we will fix that for the next event that we work on to make sure that we ask for that information up front on your Google form. So if you could take care of that business, I'm going to go ahead and turn you over to listen to the story of Sedna, goddess of the seas. And once you're done with that, the live will be over. So I will speak to you all again next week. It'll be a week of magic. And I will talk to you again then when we are speaking of diamonds. Thanks, everyone. Have a good week and enjoy the story.
Thousands of years ago, when the Inuit were the only people living on the land, the sea was free of creatures. At that time lived a happy young Enoch girl named Sedna, who had everything a child could ever want. For her father was the best hunter, so they always had an abundance of cozy furs and lots of delicious meat to share. When Sedna's father decided it was time for her to get married and leave home, Sedna refused. Leave the comfort of home, the love and security her father gave her? Why would she do that? Sedna was very beautiful, and she had many proposals, but she turned down every man her father suggested. These were excellent hunters, smart, healthy men, but nobody was good enough for Sedna. Then came the stranger. He spoke seductively to Sedna about his beautiful home nearby, and he asked her to go there and make a life together. He talked of the animals he killed, their skins that kept him warm, their meat that filled his belly. He talked and talked, all the while hiding his face beneath a dark hood. He promised Sedna a life of luxury. Sedna was smitten. But her father begged her not to go. He did not trust that the stranger would take proper care of his daughter. But Sedna had made up her mind. She followed the stranger out of the community, excited to start her new life. The stranger led her far away to a rocky island, and he finally revealed his face to her. He was not a man, but a raven, and he screeched with laughter when Sedna recoiled from his pointed face. He lied about everything. There was no shelter. Sedna slept on the cold, slimy rocks, exposed to the biting wind. All the raven fed her was raw fish every day. He couldn't catch anything else. He took off with his bird friends, leaving Sedna on her own most of the time. Sedna was so lonely and full of regret, she cried, wishing her father could come save her. Back home, Sedna's father wondered how she was doing, and so off he went on his kayak. He searched and searched, and when he came upon the dreary, rocky island, he could not believe that this was where his precious daughter was living and in such distress. Sedna wept with relief when she saw her father, and she climbed to his kayak. Her father began to paddle away, but the raven noticed them trying to escape. He was so furious he flapped his great wings so hard and so fast it caused a storm on the water. The kayak was tossed through the rough waves, and Sedna and her father were so scared. Sedna's father thought if he released Sedna, then maybe the raven would let him live, and so he pushed Sedna into the water. But Sedna clung onto the side of the kayak in desperation. Her father, terrified of drowning, took his knife and sliced off Sedna's fingers. She slid into the frigid water and sank to the bottom. Her fingers took the form of seals, narwhals, walruses, and whales. Sedna had held dominion over all these sea creatures. She was the ruler of their underworld. Her head and torso like a woman, she had been on land, but now with the tail of a fish. Her long, wild hair swirled around her. Without fingers, she could not comb out the tangles, and so the sea creatures got trapped in her wild hair. The people on the land were starving. So, one day, a shaman, a powerful healer from the community, dove down to find Sedna. He told her what was happening to the people. He sang to her. He combed and braided her wild, matted locks. Sedna was appeased by his gentle touch and his soothing voice, and so she released the sea creatures for the people to hunt. From then on, Inuit always make an offering of their catch to Sedna to thank her. They share their bounty, leaving nothing to waste. If this is overlooked, Sedna once again withholds the creatures from the hunt until a shaman dives deep, deep down to make peace once again with Sedna, goddess of the sea.